Alright, so it's pretty windy out here, but it's beautiful out in the orchard. So I was walking, and of course I've been playing this information over in my head, and it's come up in a few different perspectives that I've been reading or listening to people and kind of some of the stories that are out there. And some people are really subscribing to the belief that AI is going to take over coaching, mentorship, and different things like that. And I wanted to go a little more deeply into this because I'll just go into the back end. So when I very first started any, you could say, personal development or inner work, it started in recovery. And that was my first deep dive into what was going on internally and how I was acting and how I was behaving and how I was escaping reality, and really pushed me to face myself and all of the things that I had moved through that compounded to that addiction and everything that was created in response to that, right? That version of myself. And that was my first foot in the water, and then all of these other trails of events. The universe has this amazing way of putting people in front of us that they invite us to learn from. And so where I'm going with this is there is something so potent and so powerful when you are seen by someone else, when you can share things that we have not shared about what's going on internally, when we are vulnerable in those spaces and we allow our walls to come down, something really shifts within us, right? We came here to have a human experience. So all of this stuff with ChatGPT and I'm not downing it, because there's great awarenesses in there. But if you are seeking a connection, you could say a human connection, a spiritual connection, that pathway of development cannot substitute what real, genuine connection is. AI cannot hold a frequency. Only we can hold a frequency. And the thing about using this as a substitute for learning or working with other people or being in connection with other people, and you're doing this work alone. Like, I will even say, I've had people say, I'll ask the question, like, what type of work have you done, on yourself, just to kind of gauge where people are at. And they're like, oh, I got this shadow work book. The thing about doing any work on ourselves, and this is not the end all be all, but what I'm saying is our ego is elusive. We will bullshit ourselves. We will lie. We will manipulate ourselves when we are in solitude and believe the same stories and loops that we've created for ourselves to really prevent us from opening up and experiencing connection. And this came up again with, I was listening to Gregg Braden, which I love him. He is amazing. He is such a beautiful soul, and I love the work that he does. And his background of really blending science and spirituality and geology and all of the things. And I really feel a soul connection to this guy. And I listened to him, and he has a new show out that he speaks about the missing links, and how a lot of society right now has gone through the AI boom, and a lot of the things that they're trying to enforce, even with chips and different countries that are now implementing, or different subsects of cultures are implementing these chips into people, and you don't need to think and you don't need to remember. And he brings a very valid point that I've felt even with having a child using the phone all the time, or even having access. Yes, these are beautiful gifts when we know how to use them, and not make them a substitute for something much deeper, something more divine within human nature that we are only going to get within human beings by being seen, being witnessed. And he definitely talks about the agenda that's being pushed through, let me see if I can remember it. It's not the World Health Organization, but it's what's the other subsect that are meeting? Oh, the World Economic Forum. And a lot of the things that they're seeking to implement to, we'll say, create a better society, quote unquote. And so I've really just been having this play in the back of my head around all of this stuff, and what is the experience that we really want for our future, and what do we really want for humanity, and how we're missing such a powerful and potent aspect that when we are together or in communities or working in connection, that cannot be found, bought from anywhere. It can only be felt, and it can only be seen, and it can only be witnessed and acknowledged through another human being. And I remember even when I was asking God, like, about my purpose and everything that I've been through, and what I want to share with other people, and how I want to support people in that way and be of service, to see people really transform their lives for the better, so they can experience the fullness of themselves. And sometimes I'll get more of those biblical when it just depends how it drops in. But when it came in, it says, of course this is important. Of course this is important work, because when two or more come in prayer. And so if you are spiritual, I am not religious, I will say that right now, but sometimes the messages come in a way that are straightforward and to be understood. But it's like, yes, when two beings or more come together with an intention, how much more amplified and powerful it is, and how much healing can come from that experience and being in connection. And the thing that keeps playing in my head right now, like, regardless of all this AI and technology and advancements, I will say it 100% across the board, we are the greatest technology and advancement. And human beings, humanity, and what we are actually capable of. And so yeah, that's really been playing on my mind, because I see a lot of people are out there doing this on their own, and that's beautiful. Like, yes, we are capable, and yes, when you step into spaces with people that hold a different frequency or have informations and codes that are intended to be shared. I won't go too much into a lot of the stuff that I've been aware of working with people, and sometimes this information can only be shared and gifted, and keys can be handed out through other people. And it's our reality. We designed it this way. We designed it to connect and be in resonance to other individuals that are intended to support us. So I'm going to run out of time, but I just wanted to drop that there because it's been playing on my mind, and I would love to hear your perspective on kind of where humanity is even going and your insights. And so I will leave it there, and I hope everybody's having a beautiful day, and I'm sending you so much love.